All right, how y'all doing? So we're gonna do a kind of like an NXT review, but I'm not gonna review everything about NXT. Just basically the two matches that mattered, that were heavily promoted, that are sort of the two main events of Takeover, which is the Women's Battle Royal, which leads to the number one contender for the Women's Championship, and the Gauntlet Eliminator, which gave us the winner, the number one contender for the Men's NXT Championship. So for the women's title match, opened the show. The Women's Battle Royal opened the show rather. And before, there was two or three entrances. There was Candice LeRae had an entrance, and during her entrance, we see that she attacked Tegan Knox, a la Nancy Kerrigan, to open the show. So she hit her, I think, in the knee with a pipe, and then she ran over her leg with a box. So Tegan Knox did a lot of screaming. I mean, that was actually good. She actually sold that really well. That was actually quite good. And I didn't have to deal with Tegan Knox tonight, so nothing of value was lost because Tegan Knox sucks. And so I guess I accept that. I was okay with that. Of course, this just means that we're going to have to deal with Tegan Knox versus Candice LeRae later. But hey, we kicked the can down the road, and you know what? I'm fine with that. So the field for the women's battle royal was very odd because there was a lot of people in it that I did not recognize. Some broads named Gia, Ellie, Raven, Rita. What's the name of the luchador girl, Catalina, who never wrestles. Like, she was on Raw a couple of times, but Catalina never wrestles on NXT. She never does anything. And most of these other women I have actually never seen before and were completely nondescript. And they were just in there, of course, to have window dressing. So Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez basically just made short work of all these women. They were just kind of throwing them left and right, getting rid of them, which is really good because they were telling the story of leading up to Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez fighting each other. And that's what we got. We got Raquel Gonzalez and Rhea Ripley fighting each other. And then they fight, and they fight, they fight, and then they both go over the top rope. They sort of eliminate one another. And that means that we don't get Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai at TakeOver. Now, this is where I stop and I complain about that. Because TakeOver is supposed to be the biggest matches that you can do on the show. The biggest match you could do, as far as the women were concerned, were Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai. They chose not to do that. Why not? Don't know. What is the problem with Rhea Ripley that we have to keep her from the title? I have no idea. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe how long is Io Shirai going to be the champion? I don't know. Like, if it's a weird thing when you have people that they seem like they're overprotecting. Like, you don't want to, like, and it seems like they just overprotecting both Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley because they don't want either one of them to lose. So they don't want to have them wrestle each other. But eventually they kind of have to. You can't keep dodging this whole thing and making matches that either we already know who's going to win going in, or if the other person wins, we're going to be angry that that Rhea Ripley or Io Shirai lost. Like, people can accept that Io Shirai lost to Rhea Ripley, and people can accept that Rhea Ripley can lose to Io Shirai. But having these people lose to other individuals who are not on their level is it's a lot different. That's kind of silly. But Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez both got eliminated. They went over the top rope. So Casey Catanzaro, she did her Spider-Man stuff where she gets knocked out of the ring, but she kind of jumps onto the barricade and she's holding on to the plexiglass and she's walking along the barricade. And her partner, Kaden Carter, is trying to help her. And while she's trying to help her, Kaden Carter gets eliminated. And then Kaden Carter just basically carries her back to the ring. And then, of course, she gets eliminated later. So at the final two, I'm skipping ahead, obviously, because most of these people were eliminated. It was kind of unceremonious and it really didn't matter. But the last two was Candice LeRae and Shotzi Blackheart. Now, NXT seems to really, like Triple H and Shawn Michaels and all these guys, seem to really like Shotzi Blackheart. I like her energy. She has great energy. And I think that she's a decent worker, but I do think she looks like a clown with all that makeup on. Her face is just incredibly white. Like, I think it is unnaturally white. Like, I think she's wearing white face paint, and nobody bothers to say anything about it because she does like she's wearing white face paint, And I like Shotzi Blackheart. Like I said, she has great energy. I like the Tank Girl stuff. Tank Girl is really cool, like as far as comics and stuff like that. Maybe if she went full, like, well, no, because I probably wouldn't like it if she shaved like half her head, and that probably would suck. But Candice LeRae, despite the fact that I really don't like her and Shotzi Blackheart did a good job at the end. They did a good job, specifically when Candice ended up on the stairs. Now, this is where they kind of did some really good work, because they actually sold that both women had went over the top rope, and it was just a matter of time before one of them hit the floor, and Candice LeRae was dangerously hitting the floor. Battle royals are nothing but the floor is lava, right? Like when you play with you play with kids and you're like, the floor is lava, you have to jump on the couch or whatever. That's basically what a battle royal is, and that's basically what this situation was, because Candice LeRae was on the stairs and Shotzi Blackheart's pushing her, and you could see Candice LeRae's feet. They did a good job of getting the cameras right on Candice LeRae's feet as they kind of slip, and they almost go off the stairs, because the stairs are a part of the ring apparently. And that's battle royal canon now, especially in WWE. We know that if you're on the steps, you're not outside of the ring. So they're Candice LeRae, they're really selling that Candice LeRae is almost eliminated, and then she kind of reverses it, does like a monkey flip kind of, and Shotzi Blackheart is eliminated, and Candice LeRae will now wrestle Io Shirai for the women's championship. And I understand the conception of heel versus babyface, obviously. So the reason why they picked Candice LeRae is because she is sort of the top female heel. Okay, that's cool, but she's not the biggest name, and we're in an age now where we can do babyface versus babyface matches, especially a babyface that is like Rhea Ripley, who is big and strong and a badass, and you have a completely different kind of babyface in Io Shirai, who's tough, fiery, but she's small. There's a natural story you could tell there, but I'm okay with the Candice LeRae Io Shirai match. I'm all right with that. I don't hate it. So, what I do hate is that Johnny Gargano is going to get a match with Damian Priest for the North American Championship. So that means that both of the LeRaes now get title shots at TakeOver. But Johnny Gargano didn't have to work for his. He was just kind of given a shot. At least Candice LeRae had to win a Battle Royal. Johnny Gargano got a title shot by being Johnny Gargano. Oh boy. Okay. Whatever. I don't like it. It's a good match for Damian Priest. They're trying to do good matches with Damian Priest now. They're kind of putting him out there, letting him get some ring reps and get people to really kind of like him and stuff like that. So I guess there are better people than Johnny Gargano, if we're being honest. But they're really, when you had the Gauntlet Eliminator and you had a lot of people, a lot of the top guys in there, you kind of just had, you couldn't, well, I guess you could have waited. I guess you could have waited and announced the North American Championship match later. But, they just gave it to Johnny Gargano. Whatever. I did like the Jake Atlas Tommaso Ciampa match. I said I wasn't going to do the whole show, but I just kind of want to stop right here because I do like this match. This is a match where Jake Atlas came out and actually showed some fire, where he showed some intensity. He was pissed that Tommaso Ciampa damn near killed him a couple of weeks ago. And, by doing what was this? A slingshot under the ring. So he hit like the steel beams under the ring. And he tried to get his revenge. He was trying to get a receipt. And that's kind of what the story is that Jake Atlas, was trying to, and then also he was trying to get a receipt and he almost got disqualified. And they told a good story. They played that Jake Atlas was superior because he was the babyface. Tommaso Ciampa was a coward. He kind of ran away when he needed to run away. And he ended up winning because Jake Atlas has, fancy offense. His finishing move is a cartwheel from the top rope into a DDT. And Tommaso Ciampa kicked him in the arm, so he fell. And then he did the hanging DDT, what they call Willow's Bell. And then he smacked him, told him, like, if you want to be in the main event, you gotta get better. He smacked him, beat him up, then he pinned him with a fairy tale ending. So I enjoyed that. I wonder what more they're gonna do with that. Maybe, there's got to be more to the whole idea of Jake Atlas and Tommaso Ciampa. I hope that's not it. I hope that we're not going to just stop with uh, him pinning him on NXT. We got to do something else. It has to be a little bit more. We have to get some comeuppance. So the Gauntlet Eliminator. So this match made me very, very angry. It made me very, very angry because I thought that it was going to be one thing, ended up being another. Now, this match was essentially an elimination chamber minus one person and with no cage. So that's essentially the match. The match is essentially an elimination chamber with no cage, and that's essentially it. But the match sort of frustrated me twice. So Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly started the match. It was great. I love both of these guys. This was really good stuff. You know, the 4 minutes of Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly grappling and striking and they were being tactical and strategic. I loved this. It was great. And then Bronson Reed came out, who was apparently not Thick Boy anymore. I forgot to talk about this. Thick Boy is no longer thick. He is now colossal. He is colossal, Bronson Reed. Now, I'll leave this up to you guys. Should we continue to call him Thick Boy because he at one point decided he was Thick Boy, and he actually put it online. He accepted the identity of Thick Boy. Should we continue to call him Thick Boy, or should we be respectful and now refer to him as being colossal Bronson Reed? I'll let the audience choose whether we're going to continue to call him Thick Boy. No, never mind. We just gonna call him Thick Boy. So Thick Boy was in this match, and he came in third, and he really didn't. They barely really got started before it went to commercial, and well, no, I think they did the picture in picture. So it's kind of hard. We can't do the blow by blow here. So which is kind of silly. So while I believe it was just the three of them in the ring when the Velveteen Dream interfered, and he did the Dream Valley Driver on Kushida, and Kushida got pinned. So for a long time, Kushida was the only one who got eliminated, and I screamed, "Fuck you," loud as hell at my television, because to me, it seemed like this match was tailor-made for Kushida to win. And I had my heart set on Kushida versus Finn Balor as a takeover main event. And look, I don't dislike Velveteen Dream. I don't. I like Velveteen Dream. I think he's a decent performer. But I don't want to have to deal with all the weirdos on the internet who are going to talk about Velveteen Dream during the entire fucking show. I just don't want that. I will want to avoid that as much as possible. Now, I get that they're telling the story of Kushida and Velveteen Dream, and that's going to be a good match. So I'm not mad about that. I am mad, of course, that we were gypped out of Finn Balor versus Kushida. But of course, that's what I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be mad because Velveteen Dream is a heel. So Thatcher came in at number 4. And this is when I really got angry because there's a 4-minute break in between each entry. The almost entire 4 minutes that Timothy Thatcher came into the ring, NXT was on commercial. Almost the entire 4 minutes. They came back, it was like 30 seconds left. So literally, we didn't get to see anything. I mean, look, it's like a bad YouTube video where there's commercials seemingly every few minutes. And that's really kind of NXT's problem, is they just have an overabundance of commercials. They just seem like to be on commercial almost all the time. And look, I guess that's why it's on TV. That's why it exists. It exists to sell ad revenue and stuff like that. And if they can get it, who cares? But that was frustrating. That was very frustrating that the entire time Timothy Thatcher came to the ring. Now they made up for it, but I was really mad at the time. Again, I wrote down, "Fuck you, NXT." I was legit angry that I thought that, because I thought they was going to have like quick succession eliminations, kind of like how they have in these really bad gauntlets. And that's what I was expecting. I was expecting like, 30 seconds, now somebody's about to get eliminated and we're not going to get to tell any type of story with that person. But I was wrong. So I got to, just by keeping my head on straight and not flying off the handle and tweeting, I just watched the match, and things got better. How? It's funny how that works out. But Grimes entered last, which was fine, I guess. And Bronson Reed was eliminated with Kyle O'Reilly's flying knee, which was okay. I wasn't mad at that. And then we got some really good shit. The Timothy Thatcher, Kyle O'Reilly, the striking, the physicality, the tactical wrestling these two guys were doing was fucking awesome. I want that match with no commercials. I want that match on TakeOver. Not a commercial anywhere in sight. That's the only way you can truly appreciate how good these two guys are. That alone was fucking awesome. Just these two guys alone. Their exchanges, the physical nature of it, fucking awesome. I loved it. I also liked that Timothy Thatcher lost. He lost to a wrestling move. He lost to a roll-up. He got rolled up. And he got pinned. And, okay, I can accept that. He accepted it. No big deal. So then Cameron Grimes does what a heel does. He's a slimy heel. Annoying-ass slimy heel. He did his finisher, what is the double stomp. He did it immediately. And he tried to pin Kyle O'Reilly. And I swear, I wanted to pull my hair out. Because I thought for a minute that NXT was stupid enough to do Cameron Grimes versus Finn Balor for a TakeOver main event. I thought they were that stupid. That's kind of how shitty they've been booking in the last couple of weeks. As I was legit worried that they were going to go with Cameron Grimes. But, Kyle O'Reilly put his foot in the ropes. Then they start telling the story of Cameron Grimes working, not Cameron Grimes, but Kyle O'Reilly working Cameron Grimes' knee. And then he beat him with a heel hook or a knee bar or something like that. And Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor at NXT TakeOver. And guess what? That's fucking awesome. So this was a decent show. The Gauntlet Eliminator is a good match. I like it. I saw a lot of people online talk about, NXT gave away all their big matches. And I kept saying to myself, like, dudes, no, they did not. NXT did not give away all their big matches because I know nobody in Roderick Strong got a bit of a run, but Roderick Strong ain't really took off yet. Kyle O'Reilly hadn't got a run yet. Shane Strickland hasn't gotten a run yet. Santos Escobar hasn't gotten a run yet. There's still so much talent in NXT. They just don't use them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an overwhelming amount of talent in NXT that just do not use. And it leads a lot of people, especially during these stupid AEW NXT wars, to believe that NXT just does all their big matches on TV because they did a couple of big matches on TV, which you do when you don't have pay-per-views every month. Like Raw and SmackDown, they don't really, even though WWE still does stupid shit like Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre 2 weeks in a row. That's fucking dumb. That is really dumb. But even doing that, they still don't give away everything, And NXT gave away a lot because they are in a competition with AEW. But they didn't give away everything. And I think this match kind of proved it. Because you definitely could have had not Thatcher and Grimes versus Finn Balor, because those matches have already happened. The Thatcher match already happened at a TakeOver, I believe. And Grimes has already been a match on TV. And you could have had Reed. You could have had Kushida. But Kyle O'Reilly is the perfect opponent. Like, this is good stuff. Now, Kyle O'Reilly he's a guy, I watched him in Ring of Honor. I thought he was plain white bread. I hated Kyle O'Reilly in Ring of Honor. But I've seen more personality from him in NXT than I ever saw in the entire time he was in Ring of Honor. So, I'm excited. He has a personality. They're telling a different story about when they talk about who is sort of the man of the Undisputed Era. That's sort of what Cameron Grimes was saying. He was saying, like, hey, Adam Cole is the man of the group, not you. And, maybe that's going to be the story going into this match, and I'm interested for it. I'm down for that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. Let me know what you think. And what do you think about Candice LeRae and Io Shirai? So like the video, hit the thumbs up, hit the little bell, and I'll talk to you guys later.